Cutthroat one today as they burst through the banner to do battle in these very windy conditions with Springvale. And breaking the banner is not going to be the only thing that's difficult in this wind today. In fact, it's so strong down here at Nth Port that the windsock hasn't been able to cope with it. It's a howler from the north, so I wonder who's going to win the toss and kick with it first up. Williamstown got off to a bad start today. It was the reserve second semi-final here at Nth Port as the pipe opener, and Frankston withstood a withering homeward burst from Williamstown to win it in the end by 9 points. So Williamstown go into the Cutthroat preliminary next week against Werribee. Frankston, like the reigning premiers in the first, Coburg, go straight through to the grand final on Sunday week. Well, the Williamstown team, after that loss to Box Hill last week, have done a lot of soul searching this week and asked their captain coach Barry Round if they'd found the answers.
We certainly hope so, Peter. We'll let you know in about 2 hours' time.
Does this weather make it a bit of a raffle, though?
It does, yeah. It certainly evens any competition up and makes it more difficult to exercise the skills of the game, marking especially. But it's the same for both sides, so we've just got to cope with it.
Well, there's Sadi Ghazi. Big job for him today to get the ball out of the middle. He was shut down, the Liston medalist last week. I wonder if Springvale will be tagging him today. Well, it's been a big week for the Springvale side as well, with the ramifications of the tribunal hearing stemming from last Sunday's game. Has Phil Maylan, their coach, had any problems getting the players to concentrate on the matter at hand?
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been a difficult job to do that. Now, we had a pressure game last week, and all our games in the finals, unfortunately for us, we just have to win every game to maintain our place in the finals. So it hasn't been a difficult job there. It really has been a job to make sure that the players realise the situation we're in again this week.
Well, Williamstown 2 weeks ago, they had your measure. Have you improved? They dropped back to make the difference today?
Oh, no, I think, Williamstown are always a great side to play and always give a good accounting of themselves. We were the first side to beat them this year, and we did that one way, and we didn't do the same things the second time we played them. So we're just trying to get back to the basics of how to beat Williamstown today.
The Shark Maylan. Well, with me, Sam Kekovich and Phil Cleary. Boys, are they going to mark that man, Sadi Ghazi? He's going to be so vital to the Willie thrust.
Well, it's been effectively used by Springvale with Warner tagging Ghazi, I think, and Jeff's on Carl. I think they'll go with it again. It seems to be all the rage in VFA circles at the moment, tagging. Well,
they've not only got the Liston medalist, they've got the leading goal kicker in the competition, and that's Ian Rickman at full forward for the Williamstown side. Of course, another key to this match this afternoon is chops. But Springvale have got some prime movers. David Palm, man of the match last week in that victory over Frankston. But Sam, he looks to be bound up there on the left thigh today.
It's not a good sign, Peter. I just thought if Springvale would have been with a chance today, this man on screen here has to have a big day. He had a superb week last week against Frankston. He was the instigator behind their fine victory, and he's certainly got to have a big day and be instrumental in their thrust forward today, and this man on screen too will have a big bearing. Yes, both of those men actually. Phil Maylan, the Shark, number 11, and Keith Robinson, number 17, the goal-kicking full forward. He's been in good form up front, especially in the air last week for Springvale against Frankston. Well, Phil, firstly to you, congratulations, straight through to the grand final with the Lions, second year in a row.
Yes, it's very nice, and all the Coburg supporters were very happy last night, I can tell you. They downed quite a few ales, and I was one of them drinking as well. So I'm suffering a little bit.
At the underground at 5 a.m. I heard.
Right.
Yes.
The underground at 5 a.m. this morning.
Oh, Sam, that's a vicious rumour.
The matter at hand, boys, which way is it going to go, Sam? Well,
I think Springvale, no, I don't. Williamstown, actually. I think they were simply devastated after their shock loss to Box Hill. But obviously, Ghazi and Carl have got to have a big bearing.
And your tip?
I think Willie, although Springvale, good side.
OK, Ross Booth down at ground level, I hope.
Well, yes, Peter, I'm here. I'm hanging on to the fence because if you thought the wind was strong yesterday, it's even stronger today. A momentary lull, and these Willie supporters are having trouble holding on to their hats. Springvale have won the toss, and they're kicking with the breeze to the left of screen to the Williamstown road end. Umpires Peter Cameron and David Howlett.
So it's umpire Howlett with the ball in hand. Both men experienced VFL umpires who've had a taste of VFA this season, and they like it immensely, and they'll be looking forward to officiating in this one. Cutthroat first semi-final, and it's Springvale. Jeff Clark, number 1, doing the ruck work against Barry Round, and Maloney takes the round knockout. Springy in the darker colours, going from right to left. There's Lindsay Carl. Jeff Clark See what sort of distance he can get with the breeze. It's a swirling one. Marking, as Barry Round said, is going to be so difficult. Keith Robinson knocking it only as far as Gould. Well, Willie is known as Dogtown, and they've got some supporters in the crowd barking away there.
It's a magnificent crowd, Peter. Very desperate opening.
Round got his hands to it. Now burst the pack open for Jack Aziz. Nicol couldn't take control. Desperation from Dudley, and he's got a free kick there. Paul Dudley, best and fairest in 1987, and that was the year that Springvale won the First Division Premiership. Surely it's Dudley that will get the free kick. It is, as Nicol hands the ball over. And he's a vital in this week for Springvale. As Simon Clark went underneath it. Howlett couldn't take control. Warner getting the ball forward. Robinson did well. The big mitts knocking it to the ground. Phillips. Robinson again, the knock on. Well, you can see just how difficult it is to get the handle on the ball here today.
I was about to say, Phil, that obviously the conditions are very, very taxing, similar to yesterday. If anything, the breeze is a little bit stronger, and it's very difficult for the players to control the ball.
It is, Sam, and it does make the game a little bit of a raffle at times. You just can't use your skills to the same extent as you can on a calm day, and it's a real test of your concentration too.
Simon Clark couldn't nab it. McTaggart was nabbed by Phillips. Morgan taking it off Swan. That's Maloney on hands and knees.
Thank you.
By Cameron whistling up play. Bit of pressure on the umpires too to try and not blow up everything in conditions like this and keep it flowing as much as possible. Springvale working the ball well, though. Maloney's handball is a bad one to Prosser. Caught. Sadi Ghazi with the free kick. A lot of players going to be over there on the Goss side of the ground as Aziz plucks the mark. Sadi to Aziz. Both men have been place getters in the Morrish medal, the under-19 best and fairest in the VFL. And that wasn't the kick of a former Footscray under-19 vice-captain. But I think we'll see a lot of that. Hard to pinpoint kicks today.
Yes, and I think there'll be a lot of tagging done today, Phil, too. I think they'll be sitting on Ghazi and Carl.
Yes, I don't know that they've used the same tagging technique today, Springvale.
Howlett has the pressure on.
Ghazi does not seem to be being picked up by Warner at this point in time. Jeffs is certainly playing in the back pocket on Carl, but I just can't pick up whether they're actually using Warner as a tag at this point in time.
Maloney's quick handball to Palm. First clean possession for David Palm. 2-on-1. Has it been touched? It's sneaked through for a behind. First score comes up after 3.5 minutes of struggle. A point on the board for Springvale.
And Ross, just on the topic of the breeze, it is obviously favouring the end that Springvale are kicking. Is it as pronounced as it appears on screen, or is it a little bit misleading?
No, it's very pronounced, Sam. Very strong breeze. Blustery, much stronger than yesterday. You can see the players' hair being blown around as Maloney runs out to half-back.
Do you think it's an advantage, though, kicking down there to the Williamstown Road end? We saw a lot of goals kicked against the breeze in the reserves.
It's really blowing actually to that part of the ground where Maloney is now. It's blowing at sort of a northeaster, blowing into that bottom left-hand corner.
But it's not impossible to score into it.
No, so Springvale now bring it onto the attacking side. It's good football, but broken up by Peter Kenny out of the back pocket. Here's Pat Foy. Let that one get through unlike him. Ghazi. Jeff's tackling him. A good one too. Free ball to Foy. He's got the fumbles. This is unusual for Pat Foy. Maloney. Ghazi again, well tackled. And low and hard again was Pat Foy. Good to get underneath the pack there.
Gee, Phil, it's going to be a wonderful contest. Both sides are very, very physically orientated.
Yes, and Ghazi's being put under a lot of pressure, Sam, when he goes towards the ball. Tackled hard.
Well, we saw them go off the boil when they negated him in the second half against Box Hill, and if that's the case today, they're going to struggle.
Swan towards Delray. Number 34 will always be close to him this afternoon, Nickel.
He just got to have a big game today. He was well held by Reeves. The second semi-final, and the Williamstown forward line just doesn't function quite as smoothly without Delray playing well.
Jeff Clark palming it. McTaggart. Ball stops as if shot. Minot. Well gathered, Maloney. Started off well in his palm. Phillips couldn't take control. Howlett. Minot. Well smothered. It was Morgan getting in the way. No, Jeff, sorry. Palm just took his eyes off it. Rickman says, I'm not guilty of a shove in the back. Pastore. Aziz goes the spoil. Mendy put down by Michelli. Jack Aziz looks very desperate. Well, he's up there in the forward line. Where is he playing? He was down on the back line before.
He's in the forward pocket, I suspect, with Martin Mendy picking him up. Would that be right, Roscoe?
It is, Phil, and I believe he might have a run in the ruck to relieve the old fella, Barry Round, as the game wears on. He's done it before. Now, Delray doing the ruck work there. Foy gets it out to Rob Prosser, who's moved up to first rover now that Marcoux out. Effort by Howlett. Nilsson, well tackled. Oh, that was the deliberate over the boundary line by Cameron. Races in. There's Cameron Stewart, half forward. And Simon Clark on the right of screen with a beard to ruck with Nilsson. Round coming at the back. 50-50 there. Swan. Not sure can feel the players coming at him. Kenny, high balls, travel 10 metres though. Neil Warner, he's a great defender. Long kick, Robinson caught out of position. Strong mark, Tony Pastore.
Yes, it's certainly warranted. There's no need to go on with it after he marked it.
Our guest commentator there was Peter Cameron calling that. Just picked up on the full by Nilsson. Was named on interchange. Pastore's followed up. Smothered by Dudley. Stewart, place of the free kick and put his body in perfect position. Cameron Stewart. Spoil from Gould. Kenny's away. Michelli over the top. Delray at the boundary line has beaten that forward move from Williamstown. But we've played 8 minutes and they've only conceded a behind without scoring themselves.
Gee, they've made, despite the wind though, Peter, the sides have made quite a few errors that weren't, I don't think, dependent on the wind or caused by the wind, in fact.
David Palm with his left thigh heavily strapped by his captain. Someone would think that would slow him down a bit. Of course, Springvale without Jeff Anderson, who's got a hamstring problem, half forward. A long kick, Gould underneath it, judged it well, better than Rod Morgan. And both sides trying to get out onto this attacking side. Pastore's kick.
Oh, well played.
Lindsay Carl gets around Nickel easily, fires it to Delray. He beats Warner. Now, Aziz is there at the back, Ghazi, and coming from nowhere, Minot.
Yes, well,
perhaps
really,
those big blokes are a foil for Minot.
Could be. This bit of play here with Danny Delray, they should have given the ball to Lindsay Carl. Lindsay did all the running.
Now Minot puts on the first major of the afternoon for the Seagulls. Into the breeze.
So they'd be happy about that, Christ, to get off to a start into the breeze. It's an important goal, and Minot's featured quite prominently. See Delray, and that was the passage Phil was commenting, perhaps feeding it off to Carl, probably could have run into a goal, but it was a superb mark. Some poor defence, and as you mentioned, Peter, those tools up forward put the defence under a lot of pressure. And invariably, the smaller guy can often take the mark.
Well, Williamstown 6 marks to Springvale's 1 in the opening 10 minutes. Jeff Clark double palms it down. Maloney putting his body in well. Met by Barry Round.
That'll be the last one.
Maloney gives Clark a bit of a chase. Nowhere for Kenny to go.
He's doing well back there, Kenny. I was just kind of thinking before, Phil, Wayne Michelle's done a good job to force his way back into the side after suspension. They obviously think highly of him.
Well, he's a player with a bit of brilliance, Sam. A high flyer, strong player, plenty of class.
Brown and Clark. Nilsson down. Nice bounce for Carl. Rickman is up on centre wing with Del Rey there, centre half forward. That's Del Rey. Rickman full forward. And it's over on the full, so Foy takes the free kick. This is Jeff Clark.
The big left footer thumps it towards Robinson. Gould spoils with the sleeves. Stewart going in hard. Putting the tackle on is Kenny. Now to Robinson. Feeding it out. Springvale with the numbers. This one goes in hard. Beats Morgan for the footy. Oh, that's desperation. A high one to Morgan, I suspect.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, he's claimed that he pushed him away with the hand and in the face, and that, of course, is a free kick. We'll probably see it here. Oh, well, gee, I don't know.
Right. Indiscriminate effort to handball, wasn't it?
Came a millisecond before the high tackle, didn't it? Howlett bundling it to Pastore. Very hard to judge. It beats the pack, and Jeff's number 30 for Springvale playing game 50 today. He's always a very reliable customer, Michael Jeffs.
It seems that Springvale are not using the tags today on Carl and Ghazi, probably because of the windy conditions.
Maloney burning in this first term, but wrapped up by Del Rey. Carl. They've lost ground here, Williamstown. Not for long, though. Peter Kenny keeps it under the wind. Jack Aziz. Stopped beautifully. Mendy obligingly got him in the middle of the back. 12.5 minutes gone. Third possession coming up from Jack Aziz.
Some frustration for Springvale too, Peter, I suspect.
There's Minot again, the decoy.
Identical spot too, Peter.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it, Sam? With the wind, you must be in front on those kicks, and Greg Minot has set himself in the perfect position for that.
Fifth possession. Through for a behind.
Interesting, that kick, Phil, made that quite... The distance wasn't a problem.
No, well, the winds, it's tricky, Sam. Hard to know. It's sort of across the ground, I think. But I think that I still feel that Springy will be getting a little frustrated, not scoring at the moment, maybe feeling they've got a slight advantage.
Attacking from defence, top side of the ground. Morgan, good one, armed grab. Phillips in front of McTaggart. Both got pace, these players. Phillips gets a push in the back, well umpired by David Howlett. Brad, I'm afraid you pushed him in the back. Williamstown vice-captain. Phillips takes the free. 30 metres out from goal, over Robinson's head. Prosser with Gould. Gould on the left, Prosser on the right, and the defender takes it over the line.
Just lacking a little bit of system, I think, Ross, Springvale at the moment. Not sure about which direction to go. They're not sort of feeding the ball off enough, tending to drive long without real purpose.
Simon Clark giving it to Malin. Contested well, Robinson. Seen over by Willis. No, he got it to Gould. Howlett. Looking pretty good, Willie, in this opening quarter of an hour. And look at that, the ball really carried against the breeze. That kick's made 50 metres.
It is a cross breeze more than anything, Peter. That's no doubt the defensive side. Sides attack. We've got to endeavour to bring the ball, even sacrifice a kick or run it across to this top end, because this will be the attacking side.
Free kick for Jeff Clark. Play on, good call. Nickel. Palm against Pastore. Round with the gather. Good handball to McTaggart. Chipping in is Jeffs. He's got legged as well. Ooh. He felt that one, Michael Jeffs. He'll remember his 50th game, or perhaps he won't.
He put his head straight onto McTaggart's boot, I think.
Courageous player, Michael Jeffs.
Lead from Robinson, and the wind just didn't blow it into his chest.
Isn't it treacherous? These are such difficult games to play in. A real test for your concentration.
You'd rather play in the wet, wouldn't you, than the wind?
You would, Sam. Be better in a thunderstorm.
It's not a steady breeze. It's blustery. It's up and down. That makes it all the more difficult. Round in front. Simon Clark at the back. Robinson quickly to Morgan. Snap coming up, and it's good. The reply from Springvale through Rod Morgan.
Now, it was interesting, Ross, the way the ball swung. The umpire ran to the right-hand side of the goalpost. I think the ball would go that way, then it turned and went over his left shoulder because of the breeze. But a good reply. This is a pretty tight game, Sam. In the conditions, well, it's going to be hard.
It is going to be hard. Goal's going to be at a premium. Here we see the contest, Clark and Round. Nothing evolving there, but Robinson does well, feeding the ball out and very intelligently a snap truly. Good goal, but it is a very, very tight contest. And it's going to be, I think the thing's been set for the afternoon.
Maloney. Malin has it smothered by Delray. High tackle on Warner. Nickel, centre half back, has trouble judging it. Steal stolen by Kenny. That's one for us.
Take an opportunity. Full send a cheerio to avid supporters of ours, Jack and Jean Weldon. Jean's a bit nervy at the moment. She's going to Cabrini next week, having a bypass operation. But keep your chin up, Jean. We wish you all the best and see you very shortly.
Well, it's Round having to contend with one Clark or the other. It was Simon on that occasion. Dudley. His kick away before Round met him. Good knock down there from Robinson. This is Phillips. What a good kick.
Gee, that was an intelligent kick, Peter. You called it right. You know, he virtually steered that through, low trajectory, didn't elevate it to allow the breeze to do any damage to it. It was a very, very intelligent shot for goal. And we saw him last week kick a couple of
three beauties.
Three beauties. And look at this.
He could have just straightened that ball up a fraction, though, Sam, rather than trying to kick around the body, but still, the result was just the same.
Well, he sat it on the wind, I think.
Yeah.
Floated it through.
Very intelligent. I'm starting to believe that he's got a touch of Jordan about him, this guy. From Preston. Capable of performing the miraculous.
What, you're talking about the Middle East?
Yes, I thought we were getting biblical for a second.
Well, after hearing your three-quarter time address, I'll elaborate shortly because Aziz got the ball.
Walking on water. Phil Cleary asked them to do, and they did with Lions. Now, Minot. Cleverly sought and found Mashali.
See, when that dust goes up, Ross, you'd swear you were playing in Darwin, wouldn't you?
Well, 2
Or
weeks
perhaps
ago.
in the Middle East.
Yes.
We've got Jack Aziz and Saadi Ghazi.
My mind thought of the Desheen Reserve, actually.
Well, it wouldn't be the Coburg ground because it's not dust, it's water. Still, yeah. It's a bit of a worry.
Mashali making some adjustments to his bootlace.
He's got aim for the right goalpost.
He did. He hooked it at the same time, out of bounds on the full. Running a straight line then, Sam.
Yes, poor execution.
Des English, the former Carlton player, in the crowd too, just walked by the box.
Your former mentor was in attendance yesterday too, Philip.
Colin Kinnear,
Current
yes.
Sydney Swans coach.
Yes, enjoyed the day.
Did he pat you on the back and say you've learnt well, son?
Yeah, he said you got a long way to go, son.
Well, they're both teachers, so, well.
In a fashion, I am.
Maloney taking all before him in this first term. But Howlett is one at centre half back or on that half back line for Willie that's holding up Springvale. Good hands from Morgan. Stewart to Maloney. He's gone for home. All clear. Maloney has had 10 possessions in the opening 19 minutes of this
Well
game.
on top of Swan, Peter.
Yeah, we've
Swan's a worry, isn't he?
been struggling a little bit in the real pressure games of late, Swanee. A dangerous player when he's loose.
Oh, and Willis has gone over the line.
Oh, this mystifies me, this decision. How they can see from 50 metres of field.
Well, was he 50 away?
Oh, well, in that vicinity.
What, like 30?
You can't tell me that white line is the most visible of...
Look at it.
There's 6 inches inside that line.
Yes, the foot's allowed to swing out over. As
It is a
Nilsson
final.
knocks it through for a behind, and the difference now is 8 points in favour of Springvale.
It's a final. It's a big viewing audience and a big crowd in attendance, and we all like to be noticed.
Oh, come on, Sam.
Willis, the long one. Through Jeff Clark's hands. Maloney. Centering kick. Simon Clark holding his ground. Kenny does well backing back into that pack. And spoiling Simon Clark, who's been fairly quiet. It's not easy for these big fellows. There's Murray Nilsson, 19. Playing at centre-half back on Simon Clark. Phil Cleary grabs the pen. The notes are going down here, left, right and centre.
Gee, I tell you what, Barry Round has been pretty rugged in this game, so he's trying to lift the side. Peter, I think you noticed earlier on, he's sort of throwing the weight around a little bit. And that time he paid the penalty.
Barry, you're right there. You're right on it, mate.
Just had one possession himself.
There's plenty of shoulder there to hit with too, and the big boy.
Well, he's got dual Clarks to contend with. This is Simon, not making the distance. Behind was Robinson, nearly came into his mitts. Nilsson got it away. McTaggart, not too unhappy to see it go over.
I thought he tried to keep that in, actually.
There's a lot of pressure on Barry Round. There's high expectations at Williamstown, Phil.
Now let's watch this contest. Clean win by Barry Round. Shark by the Shark, Phil Malin. Willis in front of Robinson. Willis goes down. Robinson misses Palm with a hand pass. He's not looking.
He's proppy.
Too good as David Palm. There's a wild and woolly kick by Jeff Clark, or Stuart Nicol it was.
And a big mark by the man behind the fence. Didn't take his eyes off the ball either.
On the mark, thanks.
Cameron Stewart, 19, is on the mark. Pastore to take the kick. Six possession for Tony Pastore. Wynn grabs that one. Ghazi with his offsider. Prosser. Long one for looking for Rickman over his head. Foy gets pulled off the ball. Jeff's in for support. Carl goes down. And
It's nearly out in the fall, I thought. Gee, it's a hard game to work out at the moment, Ross, isn't it? I mean, you're a fairly astute person. Can you decipher any pattern at the moment?
well, I think they're very evenly matched, Phil. I think neither side's giving much away. They're very evenly matched. That's my summation.
Well, there is a bit of a leveller with the elements. Clark down towards Prosser.
I mean, before the game, there was no obvious winner, was there? It's
Oh no, it's a tight. Yes, it's a tight contest. We know that Springvale's are very much a unit.
Clark down to Carl. Didn't bend soon enough. And it's 7 points of difference in favour of Springvale. We've played 23 minutes. I think the odds were evens for Springvale, 2-1 for Williamstown.
It's interesting, Peter. It's a long time since we've seen a quarter go without Ian Rickman having a. I don't think he's had a kick. He certainly hasn't kicked a goal. Naught's to his credit at the moment. You know, in previous games he's been devastating early, hasn't he? Certainly a player to watch, but natural today in the conditions. It's not a full forwards day.
That footy went out the gate and into the old dairy, I think. We've had to get a new one as they huddle up at centre half back. Do you prescribe to the huddle, Phil?
No comment, says Phil.
Oh, that was Pastore over the top. Here he is again. Rickman.
And I'll answer it for you, Peter. And the answer is no. Now, Seagulls in attack. 4 ruckmen go for it. Jeffs. Oh, jumped on by Michelli.
Just a bit too impetuous, Michelli.
Well, Jeffs going out the attacking side. Kick's not a good one. Puts Nicol under a bit of pressure. Now they get away with it. Captain coach Phil Malin. It's a good kick. Looking for Clark. He's outnumbered 2-1. Kenny had first hands. Nilsson to Howlett.
Doing very well, Howlett, across that half-back line.
Good volley by Prosser. Robinson in front. Spoilt by Willis, who's marking him closely. Gould and Morgan. Robinson fires out another hand pass. He's doing that well. Great pressure on Maloney by Swan. Now Ghazi. Well, Aziz comes through like a train. As we tick into time on.
Yes, you can't see there being much in the game, really, when full time's up, because it is very, very tricky. It's a strong wind.
I see there your yellow scissor lift being used by some of the children here today to get a better vantage point.
Yes, hasn't got the roof's probably blown off overnight. It was pretty wild up there yesterday, I can tell you.
Thank you.
Well, after some delay, Warner gets it towards half forward. Beating the pack. Gould. Number 44 is Phillips. Round gives it back to him. The throw-in is about 60 metres around from the Springvale goal. Springvale had twice as many free kicks as Williamstown at the 26-minute mark of the first term. 10-5. Round. Ghazi. Stewart was in close attendance on that occasion.
He's had a relatively quiet quarter, Sadi Ghazi.
He is not the dazzling player that he was in previous games. The constant tagging of late has taken him out of the game a little bit, although he's not tagged today, as we've mentioned.
I think Simon Clark won that one. Phillips, quick work by Maloney. He's had a lot of possessions. The attack is broken up. Not in the back, no. Morgan, is that a throw? Yes.
You're surprised I didn't play Graham Dempster today, Ross? I thought he played well last week.
He's sitting in the bench, on the bench.
Yes.
Played very well last week, you're right, Phil. Swan kicks forward. And Jack is trying to claim a free kick. It's going the other way, Jack. Give it back quickly, it'll be 50.
Indeed.
Now Martin Mendy takes the free kick. Calls a play on, ran off the line. Gets through Stewart. There's Big Barry, claws it in with the left hand. Stewart, number of left footers in this Vale lineup is helpful. Robinson, well judged. Short is on to Maloney, and doesn't he cover some territory, Peter Maloney?
Yes, and I think Keith Robinson's been threatening on several occasions, and the ball's just been swept away from him. But on that occasion, good mark. And you're right, Peter Maloney gets a lot of kicks, 13 possessions, and giving Billy Swan quite a bit of trouble in the middle at the moment.
Now Springvale lead by 7 points. Maloney allowed just a little bit too much for the breeze there. Perhaps just a moment when it died down.
A little bit of slack marking there from Willie. Not punished. There's that good long kick again over to that Goss side of the ground as Kenny beautifully to Minor. Where is the handle? Nowhere for Michelli to go. Got some help from Minor. Kenny. Bounce was obliging for Tony Pastore. Ghazi got loose. Perhaps he should have gone for goal. Aziz fends off Foy. Jack Aziz.
Well, he seemed to be getting into all sorts of trouble, Jack Aziz, but at the right time he turned and he did the right thing with it and spun it through the goal. It's a difficult goal, but a very important one to Willie.
Strength prevailed here, Phil. It's been a good move. Jack Aziz is playing quite well. He's playing quite well in the forward pocket. Viewers might be somewhat mystified because they're accustomed to seeing Jack at full back.
They've swung their side around quite a bit of late, Willie. Sam, haven't they?
Yes, well, they've been compelled to. They haven't been reaping the benefits with their conventional setup, so they've had to change it around.
Through comes Mendy, and there's Aziz again. Quickly to Carl. He puts it on to boot. Very fast. Bit of pressure late in the first term. Springvale free kick going to Mendy's way. Aziz is a culprit. Advantage paid. Stewart sends a long one. But over Robinson's head into that defensive pocket. And Willis gets the free kick.
Yes, it's very important, I think, to try to keep the ball in the corridor, Ross, isn't it, in these conditions, with the wind so swirly. Once you get out on the flanks, very hard to do anything with it.
David Willis, he's gone defensive. 2 points the difference. Through comes Gould. He's impressed Ooh, almost holding the ball. They got it away just in time. Maloney, a clever tap on. Feed by Williamstown out to Wade Michelli on half-back flank. Just 4 goals for the quarter. And a long quarter. Nearly 31 minutes. Ghazi tackled by Phillips. Now, was he searching for Aziz there? I suppose he was.
A little unfortunate with the bounce there, Sardi. He's nearly off.
Dead right, Sam.
Charlie not too happy. And then Delray came in to try and bury Warner. And, well, you see Lindsay Carr was in there as well. He was completely obliterated. And checking his nose is still in the right alignment.
We've learned to expect to see Lindsay Carl. He's always at the base of every pack, Lindsay Carl. Very courageous.
There's 2 points up at Springvale. They've had the breeze in this first term, but it's not going to be easy to kick goals with it or against it. Williamstown, though, have had the better of the term, kicking 2-2 to the right of your screen. Round gets the free kick this time. I suggest he won't bother taking it, being on centre wing. Springvale in the cutthroat first semi-final have the lead at the first break. 2 points, the goal kickers for them. Phillips and Morgan, while for Williamstown, Minot and Aziz kicked their 2 goals. Well, David Palm, who you've seen in action with the bandage in this first quarter, was the man of the match last Sunday, and there'll be another one this Sunday. We'll be announcing that, our selection, at the end of the match, as Williamstown look pretty pleased with themselves. I wonder if the man of the match will come from their ranks. Whatever our selection, put it on the back of an envelope along with your name and address. But he looks quietly happy with that first term effort from the Seagulls. They trail by just 2 points against the Breeze. Well, it's cutthroat, this game. It's the first semi-final in the VFA. Just across the way, across the river at the MCG, it's the qualifying final in the VFL with Geelong against Essendon. Important information, though, for Bombers fans, they'd be pretty happy with 2 goals in the opening minutes a little later on. Well, this is Springvale's huddle. And also very quiet, calm, collected is Phil Malin. What would be the instructions to his team for this second quarter, Sam Kekovich?
Yes, Peter, I think it's been a good tough.
Usually gives them quite a bit of elevation.
Well, even with the breeze too far for Barry to think about scoring. Nilsson. Jeffs to Maloney. Morgan. Stewart against Howlett. The latter wins out. Got a lot to kick to. And what there is Springvale. Nickel couldn't hold it. Looking into the sun and the breeze just taking it away from him.
He's an unsung hero, Andrew Howlett, isn't he? Does the job week in, week out. Very, very reliable defender.
Now round in front. Maloney running away from goal. Allows for the wind well. Oh, takes the bounce the wrong way from Springvale's point of view. And quite a few people sheltering from this breeze, strong wind in the old stand. That's good too. Round at the back wins it. There's Maloney again. He's everywhere. Morgan, he's kicked one.
Gee, that was an opportunity. Went begging. I thought he could have done better with that snap, Morgan.
Yes, he got free, Sam. He wasn't tackled in that piece of action there, but just not able to swing the ball back far enough. Although one would have thought the wind would have done the trick.
Going to be worth their weight in goals today. As the kick in. With some help, gets to the centre. Pastore. Aziz. Rickman. Hasn't really had a possession yet as Foy dives in on it.
Gee, I wonder there the way Ian Rickman attacked the ball, Peter. Didn't look too flash, did he, really?
No, I think he held it up waiting for Jack Aziz to come through.
Yeah, but he sort of punched at the ball as well, Sam. I mean, in other occasions you'd see him charge after the ball, grab it and spin.
Del Rey came in to knock it out of Clark's hands. Foy. Knock on from Stewart was good play, and here's Simon Clark. Bends down well, the big fellow. Nilsson, fine tackle. Maloney caught by Swan.
Yes, good tackle, good decision.
5 possessions for Swan, one of the few times he's got on top of Peter Maloney in the game so far. Danny Delray, the call comes from Pastore. Open spaces on half forward, Gould with the flight of it. Held off the ball. Mendy, too close was Warner to receive the handball. Bounces it well to Jeff Clark. That's good skills, this big man. Good mark, Kenny, no. Dudley stayed down, he did well. Picked the right option. Throw in about 20 metres around from the Springvale goal.
Gee, I must repeat myself, but I really think the players need to try to get numbers around the ball and get a bit more run and handing of the ball off. When you're trying to set the play up from 40, 50 metres, Sam, very difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult. We saw the Breeze take that ball right across ground.
Carl ducks the head, shoots out the hand pass. Kenny tackled by Phillips. Gould, well done. Long bomb though. Delray knocks it forward into the path of Ghazi. The back pocket there. Michael Jeffs does brilliantly. Over to Nickel.
That was brilliant play by Jeffs.
It certainly was, Phil.
Excellent to get himself in a position to throw himself on the ball, win it back from Ghazi, who is a real speedster.
Prosser kicks up to the centre wing. There's Phillips, 44, and Prosser is Springvale's first rover, but he actually, you watch him closely, he's tagging Ghazi or Carl Wimmer on his ball.
Well, they've certainly changed it. In previous times they've used Warner and Jeffs, haven't they?
And Jeffs at back pocket on the resting rover. Carl takes the tap from round. Hooked back by Michelli. Chance for Delray. Swan running with him, and Rickman's loose. Oh, a spoiling attempt. Not sure what to do. Onto the left foot. Scrubby kick to mine it. Oh, quickly onto the boot, but wide. And Springvale always had Williamstown forwards under pressure.
Gee, I don't know. Ian Rickman didn't look like the fit, lively Ian Rickman we've seen in previous games. The wind aside.
Didn't really attack that one, did he?
No, he didn't,
Mark?
Peter.
Prosser. Oh, McTaggart swoops in and kicks the goal.
And what a great goal that was. That's a team lifter.
That is an inspirational passage of play. And Brett McTaggart's had quite a lean year, but his performance in the finals, he was probably Williamstown's best player.
Yes.
In that qualifying final against Box Hill, look at him stream through the centre of the ground.
Mentioned a few times, Sam, during the year on the telecast what a great kick on left or right foot Brett McTaggart is, and you could see none better than that. That was a good 50-metre drop punt right through the middle.
Jeff Clark wins it. Pastore, Howlett on his wrong foot. David Palm. And here's the running Maloney out of the centre in front of Pastore. He puts pressure on him. Morgan. Oh, that's a torpedo gathered by the wind. Robinson in front, spoilt by Willis. Here's Robinson again. Clark. And Gould again does well.
Good play.
Over to Carl. Direct kick to centre half forward. Coming from the side is Nickel, who takes a good grab with both hands.
He's doing quite well, Ross, isn't he? Nickel.
Malin. 9 minutes into the second term. And again, it's the team going against the wind, looking the better as Warner. It's it to half forward. Spur from Gould. Could have been over the shoulder a little bit too on Robert Prosser.
Well, that's what I was thinking, actually, Peter, for some strange reason.
Oh, I thought it was okay.
Good on you, Russ.
4-point lead for Williamstown. Round. Lindsay Carl, the best of the Rovers at the moment. Won't be too pleased with that kick, but it's got a teammate mine it. Howlett. And Ghazi's outnumbered here. Foy cleverly to Jeffs. Ghazi might beat the odds. He has. Seventh possession for Saadi Ghazi.
It's a strange concept, that free kick, really, isn't it? I mean, that's how it has to be paid, but it's still a worry at times.
Rickman right on the centre wing. Michelli, fine mark.
Yes, he can mark, this boy. Very, very strong pair of hands.
So a rugged campaigner is Wayne Michelli.
And fantastic judgment. He stopped, then went again, and never looked like missing it. Well, what a handy goal this would be. And what a perfect view you had. Never looked like missing. Michelli puts them 10 points up. We've played nearly 11 minutes.
And what a superb placement from Rickman. The kick, look at this.
But isn't it nice, Sam, to see a player, he knows he's going to feel the weight of the player coming against him, but he holds his ground just beautifully. Very well judged mark, both with the body and the hands.
10 points the margin to the Seagulls. 2 goals in this quarter in 11 minutes. Carl, there he is in the middle, fighting hard to get it clear.
Hold on. Thanks, Bill.
A lead of a couple of goals in these conditions is very, very valuable.
Peter Cameron. Oh, Barry round wins that. It goes to Foy. On to Stewart, on his wrong foot. Up to full forward. Willis in front of Robinson. Doing a good job. Loose now, Robertson a chance on the left foot.
Just stole that ball, Keith Robinson, didn't he? Willis always had under control.
He's a bit hasty with the kick, Sam. Would have might have just gone a couple of metres more and kicked on the right foot.
Simon Clark could have swallowed that one. Maloney. Warner. Fine pick up from Morgan. Mendy. Oh! Jeff Clark! Brilliant! It was like the bicycle kick and the round ball code into the top of the net.
Isn't he happy about it?
Well called, Peter G.
Should have been a 3-2, I think.
It's fantastic play, this. Quick thinking.
Right, Jeff.
Would that get him a game in the State League soccer or what, Peter?
Oh, NSL.
But also on his wrong foot.
Oh, gee.
The Shark, Phil Malin gets taken out of it. Del Rey. Last 5 minutes have been much better football. Pastore. Wide out that defensive flank.
Well, it's not pretty football, but it's tense and hard, Ross, isn't it?
It is there, Saadi Ghazi. And Malin coming into the picture. Barry takes that one out. Can't get the hand pass away. Morgan. Michelli. And umpire John Summers will throw this one in. He loves Port Melbourne.
The ground or the team?
The ground. Barry gets the free kick. He's given a few away. Now he squares it. Pastore's there. So does Cameron Stewart. In comes Swan. Well done. He'll use this the possession well to Barry round. Was going to go on with it. Now he does. He's found Ghazi. Over to Michelli. Shot on goal. Across the face.
Promising move by the Seagulls, but not capped off with a goal.
Nichols kick towards Maloney. Howlett, the half-back flanker. Can't find Michelli. That's Warner taking the mark.
It's a superb mark, this.
Andrew Howlett hauling it in. Foy. Swan, well judged.
On the mark there, right there. Yours.
Rickman out at centre half forward. It won't make it to him. There's again the skills off the ground from Jeff Clark, gaining a good 30 metres. That's very handy.
It's going to be very difficult for Phil to pinpoint that short pass in the forward line, isn't it? We just saw Howlett endeavouring this. You're just going to have to kick the ball long. There is an element of luck.
Not a good percentage.
No.
Round, palming it. McTaggart knocking it back to Big Barry. Rod Morgan for Springvale. They trail by 3 points. Well nabbed by Gould. Brett Gould goes towards Rickman. Big number 7. He'll make up a lot of ground. Well, he's usually the best kick in the competition. Could have been nearly a free kick to Ghazi. Maloney. Prosser's got a 10-metre break, but not for long on McTaggart. Had to be quick. Pastore, fine mark.
It's been a fine player, Peter.
Yes, in recent weeks, he's been a very, very valuable player for Williamstown.
Del Rey's the defender. Push against Simon Clark. Short one to Morgan. They're still on the attacking side. Springvale trailing by 3 points. To centre half forward, Del Rey one-handed. Swan, who's lifted his game, sends a long torpedo. Won't beat Pat Foy at half-back. Dudley leads to centre wing. Perhaps not a good option. Oh. Well, that was a lucky one.
Well, lucky to get out. That was not the best place to kick the ball. Paul Dudley was outnumbered there. Peter Kenny and Danny Del Rey, but fortunately received a free kick.
Dudley to half forward. Phillips it is. McTaggart. And downfield against that man, Rod Morgan. We saw him in fine form in the last round. Ghazi will take the kick. Shouldn't laugh for him. He wouldn't be laughing. 2 for out to score. The lead from Aziz is ignored. He chooses Del Rey. The wind grabs it and pushes it into that dead pocket, though.
Yeah, I was just thinking there, Ross. They're not really thinking about their game well enough. They should be almost sacrificing a kick to come out wide to bring on the attacking side of the ground. They really give themselves very little chance of scoring from that dead pocket.
Rickman does steal it. Rees will push that towards the boundary line. Oh, then takes a good leg break. And Palm was there to see off any danger.
I think, you know, too, Peter, in 16-man aside on a windy day like this, gets a little bit tricky. You don't have the numbers of players to actually move the ball through, you know, so it's just that fraction more difficult.
Dudley to half-back. Clark again off the ground. Doesn't need hands, this man. Very round. One hand of his would match 2 of anybody else's as Howlett bends it into the pocket. Oh, very much under height there for Carl, but he was very desperate. That's a tender scene in the forward pocket for Williamstown. They lead by 3 points.
Certainly was. They weren't kissing, but they were almost.
Simon Clark with the beard. Working with Del Rey. In comes Foy to beat both of them. Carl working very hard. Squaring kick. McTaggart kicked that brilliant goal earlier in the quarter. Now it's in the defensive pocket. Aziz. Mendy's on him, but he didn't put all that much pressure on Jack Aziz. High ball into the pocket. It took a long time. Waiting, it took a long time to come down. That one, Nickel goes up the middle to Simon Clark. Nilsson is marking Jeff Clark. Ball won't reach them. Stewart has to fly. Howlett the punch. Well rode Phil Malin. Morgan coming from the back. Grabs the front position. Couldn't quite bring it down against Brett Gould. And David Howlett will bounce it.
It was stiff. Rod Morgan not to pull the mark in. Almost had it. Just snuck away.